Yeah. So just to introduce myself, I'm Nirav Bakshi. I'm the general counsel at Blockchain Founders Fund. We made like significant investments in the Web3 gaming space as well, and like it's my pleasure to be here moderating the panel. I would like to start by introducing the panelists. There's Sébastien, who's the CEO and founder of Sandbox, Bay, who's the head producer at Decentraland, and Pablo, the brand manager at BingX. Would one of you like to just speak a little bit about your project, and then from there we can kick it off of the meat of the matter of the panel. So Sébastien, why don't you start?
All right. Hello, everyone. Quick poll in the room. Who is already familiar with Sandbox? Raise your hands. All right. Good. Good. So for those of you who are not familiar, in a nutshell, it's a decentralized virtual world where anyone can become a creator and make 3D content, assets, full games or experiences, and truly own them thanks to the use of blockchain technology and NFTs. Can monetize them by selling them on a marketplace, publish them on their land. We have now over 400 major brands, and we've grown to 6 million users with the wallet on the platform, and over 1,300 games live on the platform.
Thanks, Sébastien.
Hey, similar poll in the room. Who's been in Decentraland? Really? So yeah, I'm Bay. I'm head producer at Decentraland. I'm also the assistant professor of emerging tech at Berkeley. I'm working in Decentraland because of what it is. It's a publicly owned good. We're completely decentralized. We're run by a DAO and a foundation. Everything that we do is an NFT, so it's completely user-owned, and we position ourselves in terms of creativity, exploration, and social connection.
Hello, everyone. My name is Pablo Monti. I won't ask anything because I don't work for a game, although I will be some kind of devil's advocate in a good way. I work for BingX. It's a crypto exchange. Many of you might know it. My background has a lot of gaming experience. I work for a TV station in Argentina where we developed esports and gaming content, which was pretty innovative back in 2013 for a traditional media. Then I moved to Spain. I worked for an esports company for 2 years and in a Web3 gaming project called Fichin that did something in the Decentraland with Kun Agüero and some events. So now I'm working within the crypto space and always following the gaming and Web3 gaming scenario.
Thanks, Pablo. So just to highlight, right, that for the longest time, as a lot of the people who are in the room who've been playing games, that Web2 games were always closed off economies. People spent hours and hours to earn certain skins, certain assets in the game, but all they really represented was your dedication to the game or your skill level in the game. The reason why Web3 gaming became so popular over the years is because it allowed people to sort of not only monetize, but also open up the entire closed ecosystem to interact with players across games, across platforms, and actually get some tangible benefit out of the time that they spend playing or honing their skills in the game. So just wanted to start off from there, one of the panelists can answer. Is that what you describe the current state of Web3 gaming in the grander scheme of things vis-a-vis other verticals within the blockchain space? Where do you think Web3 gaming lies in its terms of importance and development?
Should I jump in? Okay, all right. Besides being the co-founder and CEO of Sandbox, I'm also the president of the Blockchain Game Alliance. That's an association that now counts over 600 members from the gaming industry. Every year we publish this industry survey, which is now entering the 4th year, where we share a little bit the latest trends and challenge and opportunities of the industry. I would say in 2024, the industry has become much more mature in terms of the fun and the quality of the games that are being produced, the onboarding and the overall user experience that players that come from Web 2 or existing players in Web 3 can encounter as they enter for the first time and start to interact with the NFTs and blockchain. And we're seeing games that it's actually very hard to high quality games that are very fun and engaging. So people are no longer coming to Web3 gaming just for the incentive of earning tokens and reward as we've seen in the 2021 play to earn movement. They really come first for the fun and the passion that they can have for the game. Those games Cross the Edges, Parallel, Shrapnel, Sandbox as well. They've matured and like they gather communities of generally tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of players. But still, those games they also like don't forget where they come from and like what's the opportunity to have like true digital asset ownership and NFT. And so usually the first time, even though you do not interact all the time with a blockchain, those games try to get you to get your first NFT, to get your first crypto, to get your wallet account where you start to learn about those key principles and you can have access to the benefits behind. What are those benefits? So right now, I think like not many games have leveraged that yet, but I think beyond true digital ownership, like I think the main benefit that blockchain brings are around like one, like leveraging and growing a community of players, engaging them through token ownership, through participating ahead either to the funding of the game or to some of like the decision of the game that leads to our like DAOs. So that's also like governance, basically like people, players owning assets of a game, like avatars, lands, for example, equipment and other NFT, or even the cryptocurrencies, the utility token of the platform can have a say in the future and vote in the future of like how the ecosystem of the game and those games might evolve. I think also the supporting of the creator economy. So that's something that Sandbox is leveraging a lot since we are the Decentraland and Sandbox, both of us are user-generated content platform. We want to empower the people who participate to create and bring the value to our games. Like that's something that neither Roblox, Fortnite, Minecraft to a certain extent have done well enough and or have capped to like, okay, you can earn 30% maximum, whereas we go all the way to reward up to 90 something with the value that they bring to the growth of those ecosystems. Exciting new business model as well. So we see the traditional Web2 gaming industry being quite challenged right now, like with the new privacy laws that have been in place, user acquisition is very hard. Targeting, you can no longer target users the way you do, which has led to like the rise of CPI cost. At the same time, the general macroeconomic context hasn't been good in entertainment, in general, in tech. And like the LTVs that you can gain from the players have lowered. People spend less. So higher acquisition costs, lower spend. Many game business and the whole gaming industry have gone out of business. There's been a lot of layoffs in the industry, which means that there's a new opportunity to find new business model other than the free-to-play and premium model. And Web3 come to the rescue, having players like participate in like play to airdrop, play to earn, staking to earn assets, or other way that their participation and engagement create value for not only the developer or the platform, but the players themselves as well. And I guess I want to cut here, so then I'll let other co-speakers share a bit their perspective as well.
I'm going to throw back your report at you. So I've been reading a lot around Web3 gaming, and it's been really interesting being here at this event. Everyone's so motivated by DeFi, but if we actually look at the report that you got out with DAT Radar, the Blockchain Alliance last quarter, so the latest data shows that where gaming in Web3 has held about 28 to 33% of all daily active users in terms of unique wallet addresses. DeFi has fallen from, let me get the original figure from last year, so it's 30% in Q2 last year, and it's only 70% now. So that's a drop. So we're having all these conversations in this conference about adoption of blockchain, and I feel like the elephant in the room is that Web3 gaming has been holding at 30% of all active wallets in dApps. And secretly, kind of behind the scenes, social, so wallets being used for social use, has increased from 9% just a couple of quarters ago to, if I can find the figure, 19. So we've got this massive use case switch right now in terms of daily active wallets. And for me as a kind of futurist, looking at where these trends are going, it means that what the Sandbox and Decentraland are doing, we're creating this kind of user-generated future in terms of social content. So not only are we fitting with this trend of Web3 adoption in wallet addresses, but we're also fitting with this trend in this huge growth towards social content and social connection in virtual spaces. And so I'm getting kind of excited about where this is going, particularly in Web3, because as as we say, like we know that people enter our worlds and are motivated to start using things like NFTs, not because of them being an investment in terms of financial gain, but in being an investment in terms of identity, self-expression, communication within virtual environments. And as the mother of 3 boys, so I have 14, 13, and 9, my boys are absolute power users in these virtual worlds. So Fortnite is absolutely about their social expression and social connection. And I think as us in the room, we kind of have to start grasping this, that this is the future, this is where we're all going. And at the moment, we're trying to work out how that actually works in decentralized user-owned environments within a blockchain.
I want to go back to what Sebastian said about the landscape being more mature right now. I agree with that. I think, for example, I've worked with esports many times, and now it's also mature, but it took longer for esports to be mature. Web3 gaming is now more mature than before, and what I like to think is that we are past the play-to-earn fever, in which people only searched for games to earn money and to invest. And I mean, gaming is one of the most popular activities in the world. Millions of people play video games. And I like to think about Web3 gaming as a service, as a solution, as a support for the gaming industry. I don't like to talk about the niche of Web3 gaming because being so universal, I understand we tend to limit the power of Web3 gaming. And Web3 and blockchain technology has a lot to give to gaming as a whole. I mean, there are a lot of projects that are fully blockchain-based and Web3, like Sandbox and Decentraland, and they are doing a great job even changing a little bit and allowing people to create their own games and earn money through those games. But what I see is that the Web3 gaming space should be more supportive to the gaming industry as a whole. I mean, we all know other games like League of Legends, Counter-Strike, now CS2, and there you have some kind of economics within those games that are like the tokenomics of other Web3 examples. Why not to bring that to gaming, to holistic gaming? I understand that we are in a much more mature phase with the Web3 gaming space, but I'm still waiting for that big solution, for that really huge game that impacts everyone and makes everyone play and bring more people to the Web3 and blockchain space. We are in a space that keeps adding layers of difficulty to users to onboard blockchain. So examples like Decentraland, the Sandbox, and other games that allow people to enter the space are really good, and I expect more to come, and traditional gaming, let's say, to have more sources and more resources from blockchain.
Thanks, Pablo. Sébastien, do you have anything to say?
One thing maybe I can add a bit more flavor, like the overall addressable audience of Web3 gaming has broadened a lot over the past 3 to 4 years. And mainly because there are new ecosystems. So there are different blockchains and ecosystems competing. Like when we started Decentraland and Sandbox back in 2017-18, it was mostly Ethereum and then Polygon as the leader. Today, like, it's more fragmented. You have like ImmutableX, Avalanche, still Polygon, still Ethereum. But also like Telegram Open Network has been rising. And in general, like we're seeing ImmutableX as kind of like emerging as one of the gaming blockchain, Avalanche as another of the gaming blockchain. They had a partnership with MapleStory, which is a massive Korean game of like over 100 million players. And Telegram, which has this 1 billion user or 900 million users as the main value of is like the ease of access of the wallet and the distribution network it provides. And we've seen a rise of very simple, I would call it hyper-casual, like tap game or idle clicker game. And a lot of game developers and Web3 developers have jumped into that new market. I wouldn't call it a niche, but a new blockchain ecosystem to try to lure those players who are using the Telegram mostly as a chat and engage through gaming. We don't have yet the statistic, but I think it's interesting to witness also that change in 2024, but since we are discussing where we are at now, and how we are going to who will win the attention game and how for how long.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to add to that, I mean, the top performing game right now is Pixels, which is a hyper casual farming social connection game, which is absolutely about small acts every day connecting with people. And as you say, like Telegram and the way that connection and chat has sort of segued once again. I mean, we saw this from the early days of Facebook, when you had these viral games in Facebook coming out of that early door of social connection. And we're seeing that again with Telegram. And we're also seeing it in the power of some of these social games that have come through. I mean, Ronin, the blockchain, just exploded last quarter because of Pixels bringing out and coming in onto that chain. So these games that can be really overlooked in terms of the game mechanics are actually really driving the industry right now.
Yeah. So just to pick up where Pablo sort of left the conversation, right? That we're talking about like bringing troves and troves of people to the blockchain on the Web3 gaming space. So like, just wanted to get a view from the panelists that like, what do you think drives, or what do you think will like increase the adoption of Web3 games? And like what I've typically seen with my personal experience is that that every single time, like let's say I want to explore a new game, it requires me to, let's say, connect my wallet. It requires me to like do some sort of onboarding, which for somebody who's tech savvy is fine, but for somebody who's a day-to-day gamer or a casual gamer may not actually want to go through that experience. And therefore, like, I believe that like the user experience becomes like a big part of like adoption. And like, do you see like from like your experience that like UI UX, if it's improved, could actually increase adoption multifold in the Web3 gaming space?
Absolutely, yes. So, like we are seeing, in the technical jargon, it's called like account abstraction. So basically, players being onboarded, just putting an email address, a Google account, Apple account, and they don't even know they have a wallet anymore. So their first experience with all those different games. You mentioned Ronin. Ronin counts like 2 million DAUs now. Telegram as well. It's very simple. They don't feel like the complexity of like having a wallet, and yet those games, how they grow Web3 adoption, like they basically beyond the core gameplay and the fun they have, they will introduce at some point an element that is effectively a blockchain transaction. Right. And they will give you like free gas, so you don't even have to worry anymore about like paying everything gasless. Sandbox, we give like 20 gasless transaction, running similarly as well. And at Sandbox, what we do is we want everyone to have one NFT for free. So basically, we want, as soon as you create your account, you have your wallet instantly, and like you complete the tutorial, congratulations. You have your first NFT as a reward, is a great equipment, is a few Sand token. And we contributed to bring one more user to blockchain that can become, then they can use that same wallet to play across all other games and so on. I think that the rewarding aspect is important. Like in the free-to-play industry, we've created those dopamine moments. Every time you play, there's always like a lot of effect of like, hey, congratulations, you click the OK button, now you have 100 coins for free, and you're the best, and so on. So there we kind of like create a lot of like, wow, I always feel like anything I do is rewarding. And in a way, like, I'm not surprised that Web3 has apported that effect, but real tangible value behind, because anything you received in Web2 was just virtual currency that had no value whatsoever outside of those games. Whereas in Web3, those tokens that we'll give are potentially worth nothing, but could be potentially worth something. And it's up to the players to decide if they're going to re-inject that value back into the economy of the game, which usually 80% of the player, when the game is good, do. Like they do participate. So being generous as a developer is important. And the rest is your choice. It's an arbitrage between like, I want to cash it out into crypto or buy other NFTs or keep playing with it.
Got it, Sébastien.
Yeah, I would second on account abstraction. It's something we brought in last year. It's been really important for onboarding. You can sign up with an email address. You don't have to start talking wallets. I think above and beyond that is we haven't been very good as an industry of actually showing what's possible right now. We get a lot of feedback of people just being absolutely delighted with what is possible within virtual worlds combined with the blockchain. So we just did a game expo 2 months ago where we had Web3 games like Kamon, Avagotche, DeFi Kingdoms. We brought everyone together. Everyone had a booth. And in each booth, there's a dispenser. So you run around doing a quest. And if you do 6 booths, you can press a dispenser, get a ticket, take it to a huge claw machine. That claw machine then grabs an NFT for you, drops it into your wallet, and you get that absolute wow moment of going, I can do that. I can have a quest, grab wearables from Avagotchi, came on DeFi Kingdoms in the same environment where I'm running around. I can then trade that for another quest token and put it into a wearable machine. And I'm talking to people at the same time that are doing the same thing. And it becomes this shared moment of experience within a gaming environment. If people are like, mind's blown, it's like, this is available now. It's yet absolutely. And as an industry, we've been really bad at talking about that. We had the kind of hype cycle of metaverse hype, and then the press kind of turning on us and saying, you know, this is not possible. And meanwhile, the devs have kind of been working to make this possible. And suddenly we're at this stage where you're finding it as well in the sandbox. That,
Yeah.
You know, it's working. It's delighting right now.
I understand that gaming is community. It's the same. It's a synonym. I mean, there are a lot of people that might play alone, but most of the people play with friends, or they make friends playing. Nowadays, at least in Spain and Argentina also, you get to see teenagers gathering and playing Brawl Stars like I was with my colleagues talking back in my days. We didn't have mobile phones. But the thing with this is, I agree with what you mentioned about making this as transparent as possible. I mean, the social login, give the users the option to onboard, maybe without knowing you need to let them know. But for them, the process is completely transparent. I mean, you're giving that person a wallet, maybe that person doesn't need to know that you are giving him or her a wallet. On the small letters, you will let them know. But maybe someone is overseeing here. But making that transparent is the best way to, and the tap and earn games that you mentioned in Telegram, it's about that, is the connection of gaming, fun, because gaming should be fun. Sadly, there are a lot of Web3 games in the past that weren't fun, just to win money or to try to earn money. So it's easy, it's fun. You have your friends, you have the community. You don't have tons of process for you to log in, and that makes a success. And that's what we are seeing with Hamster Combat and every ton game that it's around. It's lower the amount of problems that the user finds when they need to onboard, when they are onboarding. And in gaming, even more. I mean, people want to, my son, 11 years old, he downloads the game. He wants to play now. Now. And if you have the tutorial and you log in and your parents log in, oof, you lost him. And it's like that. It's easy, fun, with friends. For me, for gaming, and with Web3, if you make that, you earn them.
Thanks, Pablo. Just going a little bit into technical side of things, right? The fact that we spoke about user experience, right? And like now I want to like talk about the fact that, like, let's say there are people who like playing different games, they like experimenting, but they would like to have some sort of unison of their assets across multiple games. So like, where do you think Web3 gaming goes in terms of like interoperability between blockchains? And like, do you think like if we're truly able to achieve that in some manner or form, you're able to let's say get a lot of people like over from Web 2 to Web 3, because Web 2 you had the same problems, right? You had silos in each game, and you could never really do anything except, like, yes, there was an exception with the Steam store where all your game assets in the Steam store are on Steam, but then again you're stuck to just Steam. Like, you're not able to, like, let's say take that to Epic, right? So in that kind of sense, like, do you think like interoperability of blockchains, if it becomes a reality, Web3 gaming would get a big boost from just that kind of an event?
I think interoperability is very exciting as technical possibilities that's offered by the technology here, but is way underutilized at the moment. And for a few reasons. The first one, it requires to be creative and like a lot of implementation work. There's no standard, first of all, across like interoperability of assets and how they should be represented across different games or applications. That's actually why an association called the Open Metaverse Alliance, the OMA3, was born 2 years ago, and Sandbox and many other games and virtual world are member of to try to solve those technical challenges. Yet, I think like it's more importantly, it should be thought from the content side. Like, what do we want to offer as a user experience, and who do we want to target? For me, it's a user acquisition opportunity. Try to bring existing communities and audience from one game to another by adding some utility, and that's what we've done in Sandbox. We made over 50 PFP collection. So they used to be like 2D profile picture, like Bored Ape, Clonex, Cool Cat. And also we work with like meme coins, so Shiba, Dog, Pepe, for example. If you own that in your wallet, automatically connecting that wallet to Sandbox, you get a 3D character that brings to life your coin or your PFP into a playable character, that avatar, that then you can play with, socialize, complete quests, earn rewards, earn more tokens, etc., adding a real utility. But that's not enough. So recently, actually end of August, we announced a new program called the Voxel Games program. So we are co-producing with game studios, so far 2, but we have a bigger lineup. Voxel games that will be published on other platforms than Sandbox, like App Store, Google Play Store, Epic, Steam, and so on. Games that can have like free-to-play monetization, ads, and so on. But if you connect your wallet, your Sandbox wallet, and you have an avatar or land, you will be able to use that in that game. Meaning like we bring 6 million users with a wallet with potentially a lot of sand on it. We bring 400 major brands and IPs that we have onboarded, like Bored Ape, Rabbit, Snoop Dogg, Steve Aoki, many more, Attack on Titan, we just launched, to those existing games, and people can play with them across different platforms and games. Like interoperability, like unfortunately, a lot of those NFT and assets might end up dying without any value or any other utility. But if you're smart as a developer, a game developer, you can tap into those even dead pools of audience to sort of revive those NFTs. We've seen that with CryptoPunks and so on. Or you can use it to offer something also new, and like we like to be pioneers in the space at Sandbox.
Yeah, quickly, I think for end users, it's interoperability of identity. Identity is like the #1 thing. So there are standards. Can we upload VRMs into Sandbox?
So VXM, so almost.
VXM, okay. So there's file standards. VRM is the one that we support, and hopefully we can interact. But VRM means that you can create your avatar, download it as a .vrm file. So in 3D, there's .glb for 3D assets, which you can use in most metaverses, most virtual worlds. And there's VRM, which you can use as avatars. So if you create an avatar in a world like Decentraland, you download it as a VRM, and then you can use it in OnCyber, Spatial, Hyperfy, any other world that supports VRM. So there are standards coming through. And then on the kind of second side of that, absolutely, it's about understanding what consumers want, what users want, and then just allowing them to play with their NFTs. So yes.
Making quick because we are running out of time. I understand interoperability is probably the dream of gamers, and blockchain can give that to the gaming community. I mean, for example, what you've mentioned can start on the Web3 space for sure, and should start in terms of having your avatar and being able to. I mean, the project I used to work was meant to try to be that, a hub in which you had your avatar, your skins, your whatever, and you can go whatever game you want to play with that avatar, with that identity. Okay, that's tough to achieve, but I hope the blockchain industry will lead to that way and give that service to the gaming community. Imagine, for example, you play FC25, and you play Ultimate Team, and you get a card from a player, and you can take that card to Sorare, or the other way around. Or if you play CS2, and you have your skin, you have your weapons, and you can bring them to Valorant. And what if you can bring yourself to, I mean, for a gamer, it's a dream come true. So I hope that the blockchain industry will start the way, pave the way for the gaming community as a whole to allow this to everyone that wants to have their identity in multiple games, they can. If you don't want, okay, that's okay. But if you have your avatar in Decentraland and in Sandbox, and you want to play with that character in any game, maybe, I mean, maybe I'm dreaming, but that's the goal, in my opinion, and for traditional gaming. But interoperability, I hope that you guys lead the way and pave the way for that improvement.
Thanks, Pablo. I think we're out of time at this point, but it's been great talking to the three of you, and I think like at least what I've learned is like much like cryptocurrency. I think Web3 gaming is here to stay. I don't think it's going anywhere. We'll see the road ahead and how it plans out. But no, thanks once again, Sebastian, Bay, and Pablo. Thanks so much for the great discussions.
Thank you, Nirav. Thank you, everyone.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Pablo, Bay, Sebastian, and a wonderful moderator, Nirav.